Now on CoastTV News.
Landmark no more. If you've driven down Route 1, you've seen it. Why the Biden barn is now history. Restaurant shut down. A breakfast chain near Lewes closes its doors, and some say they didn't see it coming. And bloom or bust, Milford cons flowers for Route 113, the price tag, and how people feel about it.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
An iconic barn off Route 1 now gone. Good evening. I'm Christina DeRobertis. Welcome to Coast TV News at 11. We begin tonight with the demolition of the Biden barn. If you're driving south on Route 1, you might remember seeing a barn with Biden written across it for years. Coast TV News reporter Ana Sofia Roman spoke with the owner today about why it had to come down.
Driving up and down Route 1 by the Argo Corner area in Lincoln will look different now. The well-known Biden barn is demolished. Owner and Delaware Secretary of Agriculture Don Clifton says the iconic structure was built in the 1920s as a dairy barn, well before its popularity.
As small dairies became financially unviable, barns like this became less and less useful, and so eventually came time to take it down, but I delayed it for quite a number of years.
Another reason for demolition was the need for more space to fit their large equipment. Clifton says in October 2020, he came up with the idea of painting the Biden name on the northern-facing wall of the barn.
I did it because I appreciated Joe Biden for the service that he had already provided the country and the state of Delaware.
Clifton tells me all the demolition should be completed by the end of the week. Drivers like Barbara Woods says it's sad to see it go.
The Biden barn, oh my God, I'm going to miss it. I used to look forward to coming into Delaware when I first moved here and seeing it.
Others like Charlotte McCafferty say it was just Tuesday when she last drove by.
I'm surprised it's coming down, but he's got to do what he's got to do.
The barn also represents a piece of Clifton's roots.
It's progress, but at the same time, you have a lot of memories about working in the barn as when I was a kid, raising calves in the barn, and there's a lot of memories that come flooding back, which can be pleasant as well.
An iconic barn in Sussex County, now gone, but still remembered by many who passed it. In Lincoln, Ana Sofia Roman, Coast TV News.
And Clifton says the construction of the new storage building is expected to begin during their off-season, which is in about 8 months. Now, further down Route 1 near Slaughter Beach, you may have seen this old brown farmhouse. The over 100-year-old house is being demolished this year. The man who leases the property says it's just too old for repair. Now, the produce stand on that land is being fully revitalized with the goal of being open by the summer. And this brings us to our Coast TV poll tonight. We want to know what best described the Biden barn to you. Let's take a look at their results. We've got some mixed answers here. 47% say it was a local icon. 46% say it was an eyesore. Just a few say political symbol or just a barn, but we want to know what you think. So head over to coasttv.com or use our mobile app and you can vote. Now to one of our neighboring states, parts of New Jersey under a state of emergency today due to a wildfire that's exploded in size over the past 24 hours. And as Maribel Gonzalez reports, the wildfire stands at about 12,000 acres and 35% containment.
This could very well end up being the largest wildfire in New Jersey in 20 years.
It's day 2 of a rapidly growing wildfire in southern New Jersey.
It was a dangerous wildfire moving quickly. It's pretty extreme conditions right now.
Tens of thousands of people are without power.
This morning, we were cleared to begin our damage assessments.
For hours on Tuesday, voluntary and mandatory evacuations were ordered for about 5,000 people.
There were 1,300 homes that were threatened during the course of fighting this fire.
And several road closures were in place to protect residents, including a portion of the Garden State Parkway, one of the state's main roadways, which has since reopened.
It's pretty scary because, the house, you want to protect your house, but you got to get out.
Thankfully, no injuries have been reported and officials lifted all evacuation orders, but several businesses in an industrial park burned. The fire comes as New Jersey is under an official drought warning with well below average precipitation throughout the winter.
This year, we're at 662 wildfires with 16,572 acres burned.
To compare, by this time last year, the Garden State experienced less than half that number with 310 wildfires. Approximately 7,000 acres of New Jersey's forests are burnt each year. This week's fire has already surpassed the yearly average. The cause is under investigation. I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
Now we're looking outside into Lewes, and according to the Sussex County Department of Public Safety, due to shifting winds, smoke from those wildfires has traveled down south to our area. Officials say there's no threat to locals, but they say people may notice an unusual odor or haze during the next few days. So let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams on this development. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Christina. And so we're going to start with the story where it began, actually, in portions of New Jersey, really right here located between Lacey and Fort River. Now, because of the push of that smoke, we have the air quality alert that's in effect even for Cape May. Now, here's the interesting thing. You got to remember, we're still away from it, but we're going to be affected by it because this is going to move its way towards us. You see how the winds are going right now? This is going around a large high-pressure system that's bringing in that smoke coming in from Jersey right on into us. It's dropped our air quality down from good down to moderate, which is yellow. And then here's the latest modeling that we're looking at. So you see how that model pushes through? So we're looking for at least another wave of smoke to come through for tomorrow, Christina. But coming up, we'll talk about the next wave of rain over the weekend.
Thank you, Paul. Well, new tonight, one chain restaurant officially closed near Lewes. The Bob Evans on Route 1 and Postal Lane shut its doors this week. There's a sign on the door there saying it's permanently closed. Now, some people on social media have said that the location closed in the middle of the day, in the middle of a shift, but that information has not been confirmed to us yet. The nearest Bob Evans location to this one is in Kent County in Camden. In Milford, there's a push to make the city more appealing. There's a proposal on the table to plant wildflowers along medians on Route 113. DelDOT says it's working with the city on this project, but Milford will be responsible for any costs. That includes materials, maintenance, and planting. According to city documents, it could cost more than $10,000.
It will look nice over there, it'll look beautiful over there, but for that price, I don't see the common sense in it. But like I said, life doesn't make sense all the time. So what do you do?
Now, some of the flowers that would be planted include black-eyed Susans, mist flowers, or even purple clovers. Well, if you've been driving on Coastal Highway south of Dewey Beach, you may have noticed there's a new speed limit. It went from 55 miles an hour to 50 and even lower in other stretches. On your screen now are the new 50-mile-an-hour signs. DelDOT says the change was made because there was an increase of speeding and for pedestrian safety. One local CoastTV spoke with has seen what can happen if the rules of the road are not followed.
The devastating accidents that happen here constantly, and I think just like any other place, I think they can be avoided if everyone did adhere to the speed limit.
And there are a few more changes. There is a mile and a half of 35 miles an hour. That's before you get to the 25 miles an hour in the town of Dewey Beach. And it's not just speed limits. In Bethany Beach, town leaders and DelDOT want to add a median to create a place for pedestrians to stand while crossing at Route 26. Locals we spoke with see pros and cons.
The median might cause more of a problem for the drivers. Certainly will be safer for pedestrians trying to cross the road.
Now, if town leaders move forward with this proposal to add medians, construction would begin this fall. And we are just getting started here at 11. Still a lot more news coming your way. including geese in Georgetown. They're stirring debate on how to handle them properly. But first, ducking danger in Kent County, why one farmer wants to spread awareness about animals in the road.
Here's a look at your Bay forecast. In Cambridge, we're looking for 76 on Thursday, 77 on Friday, 76 on Saturday with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. We'll talk about the detailing of when that rain is going to arrive coming up in 60 seconds. We may have to start forecasting the movement of the smoke. Now, usually I joke a little bit, but I'm actually serious right now. As a result of the fires, that's the outbreaks happening, the wildfires throughout portions of New Jersey that's already covering over 12,000 acres there. But they're at about 35% containment at this point. So they are making some headway. But even with that being the midst of that same story that's going to affect us, we still expect a little bit of that smoke to swing in our direction. I have a specialized smoke tracking model to show you. That kind of shows you what's going on with that and why we're going to watch out for some hazy conditions for the next couple of days. So our Irish Eyes camera in Lewes, we're looking forward to stay in the low 50s with mainly clear skies for tonight. Live radar, we are clear. We go up here towards the Jersey area. The fire started between Lacey and Fork River. Because of the pollution that's produced by the fire, we have an air quality alert throughout portions of Jersey. I bring this up because we are influenced by a high pressure system that's taking that smoke and high pressure clockwise rotation. Watch the clock, and this brings it right back to us right here. So that being the case, our air quality has been downgraded from good to moderate yellow across Delmarva, particularly Sussex County in our immediate area. This is the modeling. See how that's swept across there? That's actually the smoke that we expect for tomorrow afternoon between 12 and 2. So look for it to become very hazy during that time. Overnight, 49, Millsboro, and in Redding, Georgetown, as well as Seaford. Mostly clear skies. Thursday, a smoky morning, as we just showed you with the modeling. Then on Friday, high tree pollen. So pollen's yet another concern. It seems like a more respiratory-driven couple of days that we're going to have to watch out for throughout our area. Now, another problem, aside from the smoke, the pollen. High levels of tree pollen, oak, ash, birch, maple, and molds, by the way, also inclusive of that concern for us. As you take a look at the highs, we're looking at temperatures in the 70s for us in Georgetown, 75 in Georgetown for the high. Winds out of the southeast and Cambridge in 77. And we anticipate it warming up to about 71 degrees in Snow Hill as well as Berlin. So we take a look at Thursday, and it clears out Friday morning. Now, as we go into Friday, we climb to about 77 degrees. The wind's pushing out of the south, so it's going to warm up nicely. Now, we have a good chance of precipitation on Saturday, about a 63% chance, and here's that 63 right there, looking pretty solid as it pulls through, but here's a treat. Temperatures will stay above the norm even during that time period. So, getting ready to wrap things up here. 47 for tonight, clear skies and a slight chill. Terrific for tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies, and then 77 on Friday. Finally, here's a look at your 7-day forecast.
Thank you so much, Paul. Well, now to Kent County. A farmer in Clayton is on a mission to protect ducks who keep waddling into danger. At Alley Mill Farm in Clayton, the owner says ducks keep dying because they wander into the road, and cars speeding by are hitting them, especially now during nesting season when the ducks roam more. She asked DelDOT for a duck crossing sign, but was told no.
They cross the road looking for food and safe places to lay their eggs. And unfortunately, lots of people travel on this road, and a lot of times they speed.
Now, DelDOT says they don't plan on installing duck crossing signs because they say they have not been proven to change driver behavior. In Georgetown, 2 women there say they're trying to protect their geese population from their HOA. CoastTV spoke with the HOA president, who says the geese were a problem years ago and that they have a federal permit to get rid of geese eggs. But the women say the geese are being, quote, annihilated. They're even comparing it to the annihilation of people during World War II.
That's absolutely unacceptable. You annihilate one species and then you're going to annihilate the next one because you don't like that one either.
And CoastTV did reach out to DenRec to learn more about their role in this matter, but we're told the agency does not manage the property there or have any influence on this situation. The 2 women say they might try to start a nature club. For some people in Slaughter Beach, they say taking their dogs for a stroll on the sand has been their norm for years. But just recently, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service put up these signs saying no dogs on the south end of the beach. They say dogs have been banned on that part of the beach for years to protect the wildlife that lives there. The rule just was never enforced. Some locals say they had no idea that dogs were not allowed, and they're now asking for the rule to be reversed.
It was just the thought of our everyday life for some people for 14 plus years being completely disrupted by this sign without notice and without warning and without any reasoning for doing it.
And now those Slaughter Beach neighbors say they started a petition and even sent a letter to the U.S. Department of Interior to try and get the rule changed. Coming up next, tariffs and debt. Experts warn that new trade rules could worsen credit card debt.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Well, it looks like Elon Musk says he's going back to Tesla. On Tuesday, Musk told investors he would step back from his role running the Department of Government Efficiency next month. He said he'll spend just 1 or 2 days a week there and spend the freed up time running Tesla. But his high-profile support of President Trump and controversial role at Doge may have already cost the company. Earlier this month, the electric car maker reported the biggest sales drop in its history during the first quarter as buyers fled the brand. Well, credit card debt in the U.S. is at an all-time high. About 48% of Americans report having credit card debt, according to a new survey by Bankrate. And some experts worry that President Trump's tariffs could further burden American households. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan breaks down the numbers.
Nearly half of Americans who have a credit card have debt. Those numbers are based on a new survey by the financial site Bankrate. And among the people who have debt, more than 70% say they believe they'd be able to pay off their balance within 5 years.
It's definitely a problem at the household level.
Ted Rossman at Bankrate says debt has reached an all-time high. According to the latest report from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, credit card debt in the U.S. has reached $1.21 trillion. That's 4% higher than a year ago. Rossman says that breaks down to about $6,600 per household.
If you make minimum payments at the average interest rate of about 20%, you're in debt for 18 years and you owe close to $10,000 in interest.
Many experts worry that higher prices due to President Donald Trump's tariffs could worsen debt for Americans. The White House is hoping it will encourage companies to bring back jobs to the U.S., but that will take time.
People are feeling squeezed between higher housing costs and medical care and food and childcare and all these things, and there's just not as much wiggle room.
If you do have a lot of credit card debt, Rossman says it's best to pay off as much as you can so you don't pay more in interest and penalties. You could also look into transferring your debt to a 0% interest credit card. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Coming up in sports tonight, pickleball is officially a varsity sport here on Delmarva. Find out which two schools played their first match. And coming up, how to spot the signs of academic anxiety in tonight's Health Minute.
Here's a look at your DSN Outdoors Expo forecast for Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We are looking for scattered showers with the winds pushing out of the southwest, a bit feisty for the day, so bring an umbrella, but still come on out.
We salute Jennifer Tremont. Jennifer Tremont served with pride as a B-52 bomb loader during the Persian Gulf War, carrying on the legacy of a third-generation military family. In her 5th year of active duty, her greatest challenge arose. Her infant son was diagnosed with brain cancer. Jennifer made the brave decision to step away from her military dream to become his sole caretaker, traveling from her duty station in Louisiana to Memphis for treatment. For nearly 2 years, she fought a different kind of battle, with unwavering strength, love, and dedication. Today, her son remains stable at age 25. We salute Jennifer Tremont for her selfless service both as an airman and as a devoted mother.
Spicer Brothers and CoastTV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a CoastTV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Tomorrow night in Delaware, a public forum on childhood lead poisoning. It's happening at the Dover Public Library. The event will focus on proposed legislation that would require landlords to inspect and eliminate lead-based paint in rental units. The forum will include speakers from health, advocacy, and government sectors. It's also open to the public with opportunities for audience questions. Well, a new poll shows that as measles misinformation spreads in the U.S., most people are not sure what they believe. The outbreak is centered in West Texas. It continues to grow. New poll data showed nearly 2/3 of adults have heard the false claim that the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine causes autism. About 1/3 have heard the false claim that the measles vaccine is more dangerous than the disease. Now, adults are more likely to say these claims are, quote, definitely false than definitely true, but many remain less than convinced. Women in the U.S. are still having fewer babies than usual. About 3.6 million babies were born in the U.S. last year. That's an increase of less than 1% from 2023, and 2023 was a record low. The fertility rate has been dropping since 2008. There are many reasons why, including the cost of raising children and waning confidence in maternal health care. Believe it or not, we are on the downhill slope of the school year. Many students have a lot on their plates this time of year, but as the semester starts to wind down, tension tends to shoot up, and sometimes anxiety can look different in children and teens than it does in adults. In tonight's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on the surprising signs of academic anxiety.
From end-of-semester projects to finals, tests, and quizzes, this time of year can feel a little overwhelming.
For a lot of kids, it can feel immensely stressful.
Licensed therapist Jody Baumstein with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says academic anxiety can have some surprising signs in students. They may start to procrastinate in the morning, try to miss the bus. They may skip class, talk back to teachers, or they may not be able to complete assignments. Baumstein says these signs may seem like behavioral issues, but that's not always the case.
We really want to get curious about what they're communicating and make sure we're getting to the root, because for some kids, it's actually anxiety.
That starts with opening up a dialogue with your child. Baumstein says to ask open-ended questions and listen to understand, not just to respond. Then validate and normalize what they're going through and focus on the effort they've put into schoolwork all year, not just the outcome.
If they're worried that they might not get that perfect grade, they're going to be feeling really intense pressure.
And if a child seems to really be struggling, Baumstein says reach out for help.
They're not able to go to school. They can't sleep. They're no longer engaging in activities they used to enjoy. They're withdrawing from their friends. They're not talking. They're tearful. These are signs you really want to pay attention to. And we don't want to wait until it's bubbled up to a point of crisis.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
We enjoyed another sunny spring afternoon on Delmarva today, and with it came a debut for a new varsity sport.
Over at the courts at Harmon Field, where the Salisbury School competed against the Gunston School in pickleball. The Gunston School started their program last year, but this is the first season competing against other programs, and this marks the inaugural season for the Salisbury School. While being offered as a unified sport at other schools across the bridge, these two programs are the first to offer it at the varsity level in all of Delaware and Maryland. The Gunston School would come away with an overall victory.
We are one day away from a new season of our ongoing docu-series Into the Trenches. This time, we're heading to the home of the Cape Henlopen Vikings as they embark on a new voyage into their 2024 football season. Let's take a sneak peek.
The late run last season, and then trying to explain that we're a different team.
You got to work harder because you went to the state chip, because there's a target on your head.
Understanding the stresses that these kids are under is a little bit unique for me.
The expectations are high.
We're really pushing them to be excellent. You're going to practice the way you play.
It's a challenge to take on. It's fun too.
We can push even further this year and hopefully make a run for it again.
Make sure to download the DSN app and subscribe to DSN Plus for updates on all the spring sports action. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night, everyone.
Coming up next, the Academy and AI. New rules change which films can be nominated for an Oscar. And the Oscar goes to artificial intelligence. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has updated its rules to clarify the use of AI in movies. It says the technology will not disqualify a film from being able to nab an Oscar nomination. The Academy states that AI and other digital tools will, quote, neither help nor harm the chances.
All right, well, our Bay Health camera, we're at 55 degrees right now in Milford, and we're expecting for it to stay clear most of the night, dropping down to 53 degrees. And now our umbrella giveaway winner is John Cellini of Bethany Beach. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, 443-880-9100. Your phone forecast is just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Bruxted, Mandalis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. We are, once again, look for another plume of smoke, similar to what we saw today, right around lunchtime. So keep that in mind. Aside from that, we're going to stay in the 70s till we run into those scattered showers on Saturday.
All right, thank you so much, Paul, and thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 11. For some more local news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next, and we'll see you back tomorrow for Coast TV News Today at 5 a.m. Have a great night.